guys, it's Kat. I have two photos of my son Justin, and he was Tigger one year for Halloween, and these are the only two photos I have from that year. I was pregnant at the time and not feeling well, so I didn't do a whole lot with him, unfortunately, so this is all I have. But I'm going to go ahead and scrap these two, and I have the Witch Hazel collection and the 8x8 paper pad and all the matching embellishments. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and put you on fast forward. Thanks for watching. Hi guys. So I'm going to start out with this off-white piece of paper as my background, and it's just a sheet of cardstock. And I'm going through the 8x8 paper pad, choosing some patterns that I like. And I think I'm going to choose 3 or 4 of them. Yeah. And I'm just going to cut off the little branding strip and then start laying things out just to try to get a feel for what I want to do. When I start to make pages, I don't usually have a plan. Actually, I never have a plan. Unless I say that I'm using a sketch or something. I just cut the papers. I pick out papers that I like and I start cutting them and playing around with them, and somehow the page always seems to come together. Like this design is coming. You can watch as it's coming together. But I never plan like what I'm going to do because I'm not good at that. I'm not good at like planning ahead. So that's basically the layout, how it's going to be. And I'm just toying around with changing the background paper. I kind of like that. I wish I had stuck with that because I think that looks kind of cool. But I didn't stick with that. I do end up changing the background paper, which you'll see in a minute. And I like this too, but it was giving me like a seizure looking at the background paper. It's one of those papers when you look at it, you're like, whoa. So I'm going to keep searching through my 12 by 12 papers and I'll just keep trying some until I find one that I like. And I like a bunch of them. Like a couple of them would have worked really well. But in the end, I ended up choosing like a blue one with a fancy design on it, which I'll show you in just a second. That one right there. And I'm not sure what made me choose that because now that I'm watching, a couple of others stood out at me a little better, but for some reason or whatever reason that day, that's the one that stood out to me, so that's what I chose. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the two vertical page polka dotted papers on either end, and then the pumpkin's going to be the middle layer. And that is some American Crafts glitter tape that I was thinking about putting down the sides, but I don't think I did that. So I needed to map my photos on something because the Polaroids just didn't show up very well against those pumpkins. They just got lost. So I chose this checkerboard kind of paper, and it's orange and white, and I just distressed the edges a little bit with some black soot distress ink, and then I'm going to glue that down. And I finally got to use some of my washi tape. This is some Happy Halloween washi tape, and I believe it came with the Witch Hazel collection a couple years ago, and I'm going to use that at the top and the bottom. And that was fun to use because I don't usually get to use my washi tape. So these are the chipboard shapes, and they come in raw chipboard. And I got my gelatos out and figured I would color them with my gelatos. I'm always looking for a way to use those because they're so much fun to use, and there's so many pretty colors. Excuse me. So I'm going to color up a jack-o'-lantern and a moon, and I think a witch hat. So I just got my craft sheet because I realized it was getting kind of messy. And I colored the chipboard with the gelato, and then I wet my finger on a baby wipe and then rub it in. And then I use black for the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. It works really much better when your finger's wet than if you try to do it just dry. It doesn't smear as well. So I'm just putting those pieces back together, and see what a cute little jack-o'-lantern that made. And they're easy to clean up too. They were really fun. I actually stopped this video for a while and I colored all of those chipboard. I was having so much fun that I colored the entire pack of those chipboard shapes. So the next time I need something like that, they're all ready to go. So I just put my gelatos away, and now I'm going to glue down the chipboard shapes with some Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. And that's one of my favorite liquid adhesives. I'm not a big liquid adhesive person, but when I do use them, that's one of the ones that I really like. So I'm looking at the brads now, and there are a couple brads that match really well I'm going to use in just a few minutes. But now I'm looking at the sticker sheet, and I'm really sorry because part of this video you're going to see the bottom. I'm working on the bottom and I cut parts of it off. I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to have to pay more attention to looking through the camera every once in a while when I'm scrapbooking, just to make sure that everything is in view. But what it was a sticker, and I just put the date on it with my date stamp. And this Halloween was, let's see, 1996. It was, Justin was Tigger, and I was pregnant with Tyler, and I wasn't feeling real hot, so I didn't do a whole lot. These are the only 2 photos I have that year, which, you know, I may have told you this in the beginning, but yeah, I just wasn't having a great time this Halloween. I wasn't feeling good that year, so so I didn't do a whole lot. So this is a little journaling tag, and I'm just writing that Justin was Tigger and where we were, because we were at my mom's friend Pam's house. And I didn't over embellish this page. I kept it kind of simple because the patterns are so busy. I felt like the pattern paper kind of made the design, so I don't really need a whole lot of embellishment. But now is when you can't see what I'm doing, and I'm poking a hole and putting some brads down there at the bottom. And you'll be able to see in the close-ups and in the photos what those brads look like. But one of them has that same blue design that the background paper is, and it's the same paper, or it's the same design on the brad. And then one of them says 31, and it's orange for Halloween. And I'm using the Witch Hazel sticker sheet, the alphabet sticker sheet, to put down my title, which is a Tiggerific Halloween. Because, of course, he was the cutest little Tigger ever. It's so funny now to see him dressed up at that age, because he's so grown up now. You know, he's 22, and it's just really fun to look back and remember these days. Because you almost forget, if I didn't have photos or videos, I would almost forget some of this stuff. Not almost, I would forget some of this stuff. So it's really important to me to scrapbook all these photos, even though they're really old, because if I don't remember, they're probably not going to remember either. And I know that from my own childhood, I remember pictures more than I do like memories. Most of my memories are based on photos that I've seen. So I really want my kids to be able to remember all these fun times that they had as little kids. And the only way I know to do that is to have scrapbooks. So that's one of the reasons that I started scrapbooking, and that's why I love it so much. So here is a close-up. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of embellishment. There's the brads. But the ones that I did use are cute. Oh, and I used a flare button down there too, which is really cute. And that's my layout. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.